remember, I went to Cuba from Cambridge, and that was 1982. I was invited there by an old friend, a roommate, in fact, Professor Simons, and who was already there. Now, I had known about the problems of the Sudan before I went there, because in 1967, 68, when I was doing research in Makerere in Uganda, some of the people I got to know were Sudanese who had fled from Sudan into Uganda. And they were students and so on in the university. They all became later on in life big names. But I was aware of the fact that there was big trouble in the Sudan and that there was a war going on already. And the war had started in August 1955 with what they called the Tuareg Mutiny, when soldiers, it was the closing stages of the British administration. And the people of the South are culturally completely African. And apart from that, they are also mainly Christian. The people of the north of the Sudan at our stage were also almost overwhelmingly Muslim and largely Arabized. A good number of them, especially those groups that were in power and who dominated the state, were Arabized Nubians mainly, and who saw themselves as part of the Arab world. You see, for example, when people talk about independence, freedom, colonial freedom in Africa, immediately they jump to Ghana as a first country. But it's not correct. The Sudan got its independence on the 1st of January 1956. You see, that's a good year, a little more than a year before Ghana. The reason
why do you think that is? I have heard stories about that.
I'll tell you that in a minute. The reason why people do that is that people think the Sudan is an Arab country, you see. But Sudan is not an Arab country. The overwhelming majority of the people of the Sudan are Africans, you see. But they've been Arabized. Some of them have been Arabized to different degrees, Arabized. There are even houses. There's the largest community of concentrated houses that you would find anywhere on the African continent are in the Sudan, in the Blue Nile area. There are houses. Recently they were fighting to create an emirate or a principality in the Sudan. The Sudan is a very interesting place in that respect. So it is the meeting point of the Arab world and the African world. You see, 2/3 of the Arab world, population of the Arab world, 2/3 are in Africa, on the African continent today. And there's a whole history between the two peoples. The Arabs have historically a glorious civilization between the 9th century and the 13th century. They were dominant civilization in the world. See? And so we've got to be aware of this now.